classic style car, and just the house went up for that, and he snatched for that and stuff like that. So
wow.
It's just a really enjoyable evening, and my first, I was baptized by fire there.
Wow.
In a Jordan.
And what was this experience like for you? What did you see there? Like, come on, give some little, spill the tea.
Yeah, well, to give some life, I mean, what I was doing was whenever I would go anywhere in the scene, I always kept my eyes as wide as possible because we were looking to create out of the scene. We wanted to write this novel and make it very highly realistic. So I was watching what the people did, how they were acting, but then it became something that I saw, just of its own, energy and stuff, with the music going, the beats pumping, the MC just having this time of his life, just really bringing everybody and giving people, giving the contestants life, the judges chopping as well. That's part of it. So I saw that excitement of living the dream. You can really call it that. You go up there, you compete, you make your chop, but you went up there, you did it. Someone else is going to snatch that trophy, but that's the winner for the night.
Word. I know that's right. Give us your most memorable ballroom moment in New Jersey.
In New Jersey?
Yes.
I wouldn't say it was in New Jersey. I would have to tell you that as a member of the House of Latex, I was a chauffeur for many balls. I would drive the children, through the sleet and through the snow and through the rain and get to the balls safely. I was the one with the vehicle.
That's what I'm talking about. Support system in the ball. You don't walk balls? I know that's right. You remind me of somebody, honey.
But we drove through a snowstorm to Hartford, Connecticut for a ball.
You say that again. You drove through a snowstorm to Hartford, Connecticut. Connecticut.
Which is easily, wow, 2.5 hours from New York City, in the snow, to catch the last 15 minutes of the ball. But guess what? Chastity and...
Wait a minute, say that again. Who took that? Because something just happened there. Like, it was crazy.
It's memorable ball. I would watch them snatch trophies.
Wait. Say that again. It cut off, and it's like it didn't want us to hear you. I'm telling you. So what we gotta do is you gotta say that part again. You got to the ball. 15 minutes. What?
15 minutes to go till the timing was called, and Chastity and Rolanda both snatched for Femme Queen Realness. And we walked out of there with trophies, and we got back in the car and drove all the way back to New York City. In the snow.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how you snatch at the ball, honey. Wow. That's amazing. I remember these stories. It's taking me back so much.
Yes.
How did you meet Albert Santana Latex, which was my first house mother, and get involved with the Gay Men's Health Crisis House of Latex project?
Yep. Now that's a good question. I had been active in the Gay and Lesbian Center in New York City on 13th Street. And, of course, they would advertise the House of Latex project's activities there, and as well as many other groups. So what had happened is Chastity, a.k.a., now Danny, was really interested in becoming involved with the project because of the possibility of walking balls, but also the secondary possibility of being, in the safe sex movement for the community, okay? That's what the House of Latex was really there for.
Wow. That's right. Taking me back so much, I was feeling it.
Yep, and it was the perfect timing because, of course, our mother was the mother, Arbert Evisu, and just tip-top house mother, I'm sure you remember, and just always perfect, always on point, and just a wonderful person, really. And that could even lead into my talk, because the first thing I was going to talk was the life and passing of Mother Arbor, because that goes right into what I was going to talk about tonight.
Wow. I have to stop the music for this because you just brought me back to reality.
Yep. Yeah, well, I guess I should probably get into what I'm going to say, since we mentioned Arbert, and Arbert, was a dear friend of mine, who I spent many evenings with, many days with, and have an intimate, memories of. What had occurred is this: during our tenure as Latex, in the House of Latex, I'm a journalist, as I said, and I'm always searching for new stories. I'm always looking into new information, and I came across a whole bunch of articles and even a book about natural cures for AIDS, okay? Natural cures for HIV infection and information about this kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So what had happened is I gathered this stuff together, and it's a book I should probably mention was included in this file called literally called The Cure for AIDS by Dr. Hulda Clark. And Dr. Hulda Clark, I'll just mention that again if anybody wants to pick up that book. It's well worth having, The Cure for AIDS. She's a medical doctor. Now,
wow.
I gave this information to Chastity. Chastity made a little shoebox file out of it, kept it in a shoebox, all these articles about natural cures for AIDS, and even information about AIDS as a possibly man-made virus and not a naturally occurring. So there's a lot of information there. Now, here's the chain link. Danny gave Arbert this box of information, and Arbert took it very seriously and said, I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and if anything is relevant for the House of Latex or for the Gay Men's Health Crisis, the GMHC, I'll be sure to, to follow through. So we were happy that he had taken it seriously, this information.
Wow.
Now, shortly after this, now Arbert, Mother Arbert liked to have a good meal, and Arbert was a little bit on the heavy side, so that kind of weight, caused some health issues with Arbert, and Arbert would have some renal failure or kidney failure from time to time. So what had happened is Arbert went in for a routine check on his kidneys, having some issues with them. He was in the hospital for, a day or two. He came out, and then within 2 days, the great Arbert Gonzalez at Latex is gone from us. Sadly, and what a loss. So now this story starts to get twisty and turny, okay? So Arbert's gone. We didn't think of anything except for grieving. Down the road, Chastity approaches the Gay Men's Health Crisis, and listen to what happened, and wants to see if he can get back the box full of information about the natural cures for AIDS and the information about AIDS. Well, I'll tell you what, the Gay Men's Health Crisis had confiscated that information and made it classified, and the answer was no. We cannot give you back that file, which was in Arbert's possession. Now, Arbert's gone out of the picture. He's unfortunately dead, and we're trying to get this information back just to have it on file, and the GMHC will not allow it. It's classified. And here's a shout-out to Sheila Mabry, just because she was the one who gave us that very poor nose. So I don't know if she's still involved with confiscating material or not.
Wow.
So that happened. Now, that's a really strange coincidence of events. I'll lead right into another Latex and another Infinity, Angie Infinity. Okay, Angie Infinity was another dear friend of ours, and a house member of ours. And here is Angie coming over to, our apartments, and we going over to the Bronx to visit Angie. And now, mind you, Angie had 2 children, I believe, not just one. In her time as a man before she transitioned. So you have a mother, a transsexual mother, raising these children, making sure that they had enough food in their bellies, making sure they went to school in the winter, making sure. So here's a hardworking person a member of the community, and guess what? Angie is diagnosed with HIV presence, and then within a year dies in the hospital. So we lost Angie to this plague as well. I will go into a deeper account of what's all this going on and why AIDS can be seen as a sort of conspiracy. And the reason I'm going to bring up these three members of the community that died is because I knew them all. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I did not know Willie Ninja at all. I only saw him once or twice in my life as we'd be entering the Sound Factory Dance Club, which we also often went to in the old days. It was one of the most hot clubs in New York City. Everybody got there. And Willie Ninja used to do the door. Now, as you know, I think I can safely say that Willie Ninja is the most well-known ballroom person to come out of the community ever.
Right. Yes, indeed.
Just the best known throughout the world. And that might change someday, but it hasn't changed yet. And the reason is Willie Ninja was nonstop. Willie Ninja was a true success story, and Willie Ninja was famous throughout the world for being a choreographer, a musical videographer, a musician, a recording artist, and also a fashion designer, and just an all-around great performer and dancer. And Willie kept himself in incredible shape. He kept up an incredible lifestyle of careerism, and just is diagnosed at a given point in his life with HIV, and within a year, this extremely muscled, fantastically fit, and famous, world-famous star is gone from this disease as well. So it doesn't take you long to go down with it, and it doesn't take you long to get those crazy cocktails. I don't know whether you remember the AIDS cocktails they were giving out in the beginning of the mass numbers of AIDS patients, especially in the United States, but elsewhere in the world. They were so toxic, these medicines, that they had to change the formulas. So the medicines themselves were toxic.
Oh my, wow.
So yeah, there's some heavy stuff I'm going to get into tonight. It's really heavy stuff. So I want the children to get out their iPads. Take down these websites I'm going to talk about. Take down these names and stuff, because this information needs to be followed up on in so many different trajectories, in so many different areas. I'm going to tell the folks tonight that it is a matter of congressional record, and they can look this up, that the Library of Congress houses all, governmental records, especially congressional records, and you can look this up, that in 1970, the year 19, so we're going to go back now, the DOD, okay, the Defense Department, this is under the rubrics of the actual U.S. Army, Research Administrator Dr. Donald MacArthur actually approaches and lobbies Congress for what, $10 million for a program to create microorganisms for study, development, and possible weaponization. Does the DOD get their money in 1970? The answer is yes. Congress awards them $10 million to create a research program for microorganisms. Later on, we do see various universities, especially at the graduate level, and some of them are doing some really strange work after that. They're mixing sheep viruses, okay? This is from WKFF.org, www.kff.org. That's a Kaiser medical website. You can look this up. Students are mixing sheep viruses with human viruses and blending lab-created DNA, okay? So not actual natural DNA, but synthetic DNA with sheep viruses and what's called HMV viruses. This, we don't know what are the fates of those viruses that those students were creating. Biological research involving elements of our society here. We are going to go all the way back to 1952, which we can look up in New York Magazine .com /health. there's an article about the CIA, the Central